Hi, in this video we're going to square a bracket. Now in the previous videos we saw how to multiply two brackets together. We multiply each term in the first bracket by each term in the second bracket. But we don't seem to have two brackets here. But remember, whenever you do anything squared, it just means you multiply it by itself. So for example, if I had 3 squared, that just means 3 times 3, right? So if I had x plus 4 squared, what that means is x plus 4 times by x plus 4. And remember, I don't need the times symbol because when you write two things next to each other in algebra, it means you're multiplying them together. Now we saw in the previous video how we're going to multiply these two brackets together. As we said, we multiply each term in the first bracket by each term in the second. And the way we saw we could do that is we just focus on the first thing in the first bracket first and multiply by each thing in the second bracket. So we do the x times the x, which is x squared, and we do the x times the 4, which is plus 4x. And then now, because we've done everything in the we've done the first thing in the first bracket with everything in the second bracket, we now do the second thing in the first bracket multiplied by each thing in the second bracket. So we're going to do the 4 times the x, and we're going to do the 4 times the 4. So firstly, the 4 times the x is plus 4x, and then we do the 4 times the 4, which is plus 16. And then we can collect like terms. So there's only one x squared term here, so that can't simplify with anything else because that's not an x squared term, that's not an x squared term. So we just got the x squared. But this 4x and 4x, they're both x terms without powers, so they do collect together. They're like terms, we call them. 4 lots of x plus 4 lots of x is 8 lots of x. And then finally, we've got this constant term at the end. The constant term is just a term without a variable in it. You've got the plus 16 and you've got that. And that is the final answer. You can't get that any simpler. What about the second one? We've got y minus 1 squared. So let's do that. Y minus 1 squared. And anything squared just means that thing times itself. So it means the y minus 1 multiplied by itself. And then we can expand out the brackets in the same way. So we do the first thing in the first bracket multiplied by each thing in the second bracket. So we do the y times the y, which is y squared. And we do the y times the minus 1, which is minus 1y, or just minus y if you prefer. And then you do the second thing in the first bracket multiplied by each thing in the second bracket. So we first do the minus 1 times the y, which is minus 1y. And then we do the minus 1 times the minus 1. Negative times negative is positive, so it becomes plus 1. And again, we collect like terms. You've got the y squared term, and then you've got the y terms. Negative 1 lot of y, subtract another lot of y, you get negative 2 lots of y. And then you've got this lone plus 1 at the end. It's the only constant term. It doesn't have a variable like these other 3 terms. So the plus 1 just stays as plus 1. And again, that is the final answer.